The roar of engines cut through the quiet air as 20 motorcycles rolled down the street in perfect formation. People turned their heads, some in awe, others in shock, because this wasn't just any group, it was a crew of fierce, leather-clad female bikers. They were known across town for their strength, their loyalty, and the respect they commanded wherever they went. But on this particular day, their destination wasn't a rally or a protest. Their target was a single dad veteran who stood outside a small repair shop, his hands greasy from fixing an old truck, completely unaware that his life was about to change forever. "Family, today we ride for something deeper," their leader had told them before they set out. And as they parked their bikes in a semicircle around the shop, onlookers held their breath. The veteran, tall and broad-shouldered but with tired eyes, stepped forward, shielding his young daughter who peeked nervously from behind him. The tension in the air was thick, until something unexpected happened. The biker leader, a strong woman with sharp eyes and a presence that made people move out of her way, froze mid-step. Her gaze had locked onto something, a tattoo on the veteran's arm, barely visible beneath the rolled-up sleeve of his worn flannel shirt. It wasn't just any tattoo. It was the emblem of the Marine Corps, marked with a unit number she knew too well. Her breath caught. For the first time in years, her hardened face softened, and the bikers around her fell silent. The veteran noticed her reaction, his own jaw tightening. He wasn't sure what kind of trouble this was, but he recognized the look. It was the look of someone who had walked through the same fire. The single dad had been through battles far beyond war. Since leaving the Marines, life hadn't been kind. His wife passed away, leaving him to raise their little girl alone. Bills piled up. Jobs came and went, and every night he wondered how he'd keep the lights on while still tucking his daughter into bed with a smile. The tattoo on his arm was more than ink, it was a reminder of sacrifice, of brotherhood, of nights he couldn't forget and friends he couldn't bring home. The biker leader finally found her voice. You were with 3rd Battalion?" she asked, her voice trembling in a way her crew had never heard before. He nodded slowly, suspicion in his eyes. "Fallujah," he answered, and instantly, her mask shattered. She reached up to wipe her eyes, but tears slipped through anyway. "My brother, he served there. Same unit. He never made it back." The silence was deafening. The other bikers shifted uneasily. Their leader, who was always their unshakable force, was breaking right before them. The veteran lowered his head, the weight of memory heavy on his chest. "I knew him," he said quietly, almost to himself. "He saved my life." At that moment, the entire dynamic shifted. These weren't strangers anymore. They were bound by something deeper than anyone on the sidewalk could understand. The bikers, who had come ready to show their leader's strength, now stood in awe as two broken souls found a piece of healing in each other. But life was still far from easy for the single dad. His shop was failing. His daughter needed school supplies he couldn't afford. And while he carried himself with pride, everyone could see the burden in his eyes. The leader, still trembling from the revelation, turned to her crew. "We're not leaving him like this," she declared, her voice regaining its strength. "From today, he's family." What followed was nothing short of transformative. The bikers rallied together, fixing up the veteran's shop, spreading word across the community, and ensuring customers poured in. They rode every weekend, raising funds for his daughters' schooling, and even stood guard when old debts came calling from people who thought they could intimidate him. For the first time since his wife's passing, the veteran didn't feel alone. And yet, the true heart of the story wasn't in the shop's revival, or in the way the community rallied around him. It was in the quiet moments. When the leader of the bikers sat on the shop steps with the veteran's daughter, braiding her hair and teaching her how to be fearless. When the veteran laughed for the first time in years, watching his daughter ride on the back of a motorcycle, joy replacing the shadow of grief. And when the leader stood next to him at a Marine Corps memorial, their hands gripping tight as they honored her brother, the man who had tied their destinies together. By the end, this wasn't just a story about 20 bikers or a single dad veteran. It was a story about resilience, about strangers becoming family, about pain being transformed into purpose. The veteran learned he wasn't meant to fight alone anymore. And the biker leader, hardened by years of loss, found healing in keeping her brother's memory alive through the man he had once saved. So if you're watching this, take this message with you: family isn't always blood. Sometimes, it's found in the people who stand with you when the world walks away. If this story touched your heart, Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories that remind us of the strength we all carry inside. Because sometimes, the battles we win are not on the field, but in the moments we choose to stand together.